Welcome everyone to episode 31 of the COD Casuals. I'm your host Justin.
And I'm Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
Good. It was a good weekend. Not much gaming going on this weekend. We were both away doing things.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to play the coveted Vanguard beta.
So PlayStation only.
Yeah, right.
So all the people on the Xbox can suck it.
Yeah, I always felt bad for that. Even years ago, when they would do all these exclusives, we were on the short end of the stick back when we were on PS3.
Yeah,
because Xbox was everything. So it always 360, and then PS4 now it still gets prime spot, and then PS5 too. Mm-hmm. It's got to suck for the Xbox people.
Yeah, right.
But no, we didn't get as much or really any time to play any Vanguard. Mm-hmm. You just told me before we started that you pre-ordered it, so I'm going to go do that too when I get home because we're going to play it anyway. I mean, I think it's $60 or $70, isn't it?
I got the $70 version because I'm on the hunt for a PS5.
Right.
At the end of the year, for around Christmas time, I'm going to try to get one. That's the one big thing I'm looking for.
Yeah, I do want to get a PS5 too, but again, it's just such a pain in the neck. You literally can't get one right now.
Yeah. Because all the resellers.
Yeah, it's absurd. But, we didn't... we'll talk about the Vanguard... Do you want to talk about it now, or do you want to talk about it later?
We'll talk about it later, because, from what we're going to be talking about, it's only just stuff we've seen.
Yeah, right.
We haven't
the
played
small
it.
clips and all that, what we're hearing about it. But the big thing that we did see, right, so we ended, if you remember last episode, right, live, while recording, LAG had their whole announcement for what their team is, which, again, stacked team.
Yep.
And then I believe, I don't know if it was that day or a few days afterwards, Octane went and announced his return to Los Angeles, or for, it was LA Thieves. Because, it was 100 Thieves back in the day, back during Black Ops 4. No real shock there at all, honestly. I think everyone was expecting that one to come. But then the real big news that came was just the whole announcement, but because we kind of had an idea what the team was going to look like, but then Envoy from the Optic Chicago went and announced that he's officially on LA Thieves.
Yeah. Whoa.
Crazy.
What a roster. Kenny, Octane, Envoy, and Draza.
Yeah, what do you think about this team on paper?
It's a good team.
Yeah.
It's a really good team. And, honestly, if once all the other rosters get, announced, I'm going to say, all 12 teams are really good teams on paper. So this year definitely should be way more competitive than this year. Even though this year was really competitive. But
right.
This upcoming year, all these teams are really good based on all the rumors that we've heard.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited for this team. It was no surprise that they kept Kenny on there, and Octane, again, was no surprise either. I think everybody knew that they were going to definitely be half of that team. Draza was kind of an iffy one just because we didn't really know if he was going to earn his spot or they're going to try to get someone even more elite.
He earned his spot.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I watched Flank talk about it, and I was so happy to hear Ben Nassim was like, dude, I would have lost it if he didn't.
I would have left.
Yeah, it would have been absurd. I mean, he's proven himself so many times for that team.
Yeah.
And he was amazing this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2-3 times. No, 3 or 4 times. On this team. He's shown that he deserves it. In the MW season, when he came in and just fried for Optic.
Yeah.
And then he just straight up got benched again.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck is that?
Yeah. And then he came on the team again, did really well. Then he got benched again. Then he got put back on the team. And now he's finally starting.
Yeah, finally. He can finally play a whole year straight without worrying. Unless he actually sucks. Yeah. But that's probably not going to happen.
Nah, I don't think so.
No, this team's going to be really good. Especially, it's on the MW engine, Envoy. He was really good last year in MW, so this is back on his year.
Yeah, I think he'll be. I think he'll be really good this year. Just again, because like you said, the Modern Warfare engine. Comparing that to Cold War, they are way different. I mean, he was insanely good.
Yeah.
During that year, so it should be looking up for them. Again, though, it's so hard to tell with any of these teams, man. Because again, I watched Enable. He's a member of the content team for LA Thieves, and he was a former pro. If anyone doesn't know, but he put he was doing his power rankings so far, and he put them in S tier. And he was like, but at the same time, I also put S tier for last year with LA Thieves. That went they were chalked. I don't think this team is going to be like that, though. I just can't really see these guys being like a top 8 team, like, you know what I mean, just being like kind of mid to lower pack.
Yeah,
I would be very I would be very. I'd be shocked. If they were that bad.
This team's definitely top 6.
They've got to be.
They're definitely top 6. For people that don't know, Kenny and Octane, they teamed before back in Black Ops 4. So that's why, you know, when people are saying that Octane's returning to 100 Thieves, that's what they're referencing, because 100 Thieves was honestly like the first time where he like really got his shine.
Yep.
Because before he played on Rise and LG, and I mean he won a few like championships there, but the fact that he came out to 100 Thieves after getting dropped by Optic in World War II, went to 100 Thieves, and they had like an insane run in Black Ops 4. Those guys sucked.
Yeah,
they're awful.
Yeah.
They like came in dead last at events, and then Coach Crowder.
Coach.
He turned that team around, and all those guys just started playing really well, and they won 2 championships for 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
And then they were runner-ups at champs. So, like, Octane, this is the only place that he belongs out of all these teams, so it makes sense that he's there.
Yeah, I think, and he said that too so many times, that that's all he's really wanted is to be on that team since they came into the league this year. And I don't really blame him. He had pretty much the most, if not all, of his success with that team.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I mean, in Black Ops 4, they're forced to break up because 100 Thieves couldn't get into the CDL.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, who knows what that old 100T team could have been like going into MW if they kept all
stuck
5
together. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's tough, but I mean, Octane kind of had to deal with it. The hard way. 2 years of just not winning.
Yeah, I mean, he was on LG for a bit, and then he was on Optic, and had kind of iffy years with them. Definitely not as much as he'd like with Optic. Didn't have much success.
Well, he came halfway through the year, and like,
it was
in World War II.
A broken year. That was a dark year for Optic for sure.
I mean, he played really well, but it's like that year was it was already broken. In the beginning.
So a lot of people are chalking up Octane too, you know, because he was on Surge, like you said, and they were the worst team by far. They didn't win anything really.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, which is. I mean, I don't know how you do that. You know, it's got to be tough on your mental to be able to deal with that for year after year, knowing that you can compete at a high level.
Back-to-back years after, like, your highest point in your career.
Yeah.
Then you go to the worst times in your career.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope that this is a good rebound for him. He's with all, you know, good players. I mean, great players.
Yeah.
You know, I would imagine, obviously, he's going to be main AR, Draws and Envoy be the subs, and then Kenny be the flex.
Yeah.
Which, that's a pretty solid lineup there. I mean, Kenny, I mean, what has he been running mainly in Cold War? I think he switched between them, but he was really good on the, what was he good on? Was it sub? The sub or the AR?
Well, Kenny,
I can't remember which one it was that he was insane at.
In the beginning, he was running the sub.
Yeah.
And then when later on, he wanted to run the Krig.
Yeah.
He wanted to be the main AR.
Yeah.
I mean, he's crazy on both guns.
Yeah.
That's why.
He's a really good flex.
Yeah. But, I mean, based on this game and what he said, like, he wants to be main AR.
Yeah.
But that's not happening with Octane. But I think he knows that.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why they picked up Octane, and he's a insane AR. And people have been, like, writing him off the past 2 years. And then he showed up to LAN, and he literally fried everyone in his path.
Yeah, he did so well on LAN. I mean, that showed up a lot of people's criticisms about some teams being just like online teams or you know, whatever. I mean, because Optic, they were praising how they were going to be gods on LAN, and they got smoked on LAN.
Yeah, they couldn't keep up with the other players.
Exactly. And then Surge was doing the same thing. Like, look, we are smoked online.
Mine is Scum. Scum.
Scum
like,
fried
all the teams.
But yeah, the other team, Surge, I mean, they did so well.
Yeah, they did really well.
It was like they were a different team.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I remember that, dude. We were on vacation that time when they went and beat FaZe. Dude, we were mind blown.
Yeah.
Truly mind blown.
And those guys, I mean, all those guys have played on LAN. And
yeah.
Octane, he was definitely one of those players. He was like, people don't know what LAN's like. People forget.
Yeah.
And he dropped like a 1.2.
Yeah.
At that whole event, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, in one of his videos, he was like, people forget.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they definitely forgot because he fried them.
Yeah.
So who knows what that team would have been if it was on LAN the whole year.
Yeah, right.
It definitely could have been different.
Yeah, they might not have been too bad.
Yeah.
And obviously the rumors, I remember they came in a while ago, but just resurfaced because they did that podcast, Envoy and Octane, talking about their potential of teaming back during the MW season where Envoy was going to be on Surge.
Yeah.
You know? That team might have been a lot better.
Yeah, could have been way better.
They could have been.
Yeah.
It's very strange. That's what I always like is thinking about like just the past years, but even going forward now, like what people are talking about, this LAG team, you know? I mean, Enable put him in S tier. Pretty sure he had him in S or A tier, like up there with FaZe, and he put Optic Chicago or Optic Dallas, whatever they're going to be. You know, he put him up there too, and he's like, dude, this LAG team is insane.
Yeah.
Like they are so freaking good. Like there's no way these guys don't smoke.
Yeah,
and it's weird to think, dude, LAG might be like there. You know what I mean?
It's so hard to like do these power rankings because I mean you haven't seen anything, and I know like a lot of these players are trying to do power rankings of these teams, and I'm like, on paper all these teams are just insanely good.
Yeah, right.
Trying to match. I mean, you could throw all these teams in S tier.
Yeah, you could.
Well,
yeah, I think
at this point.
Yeah, right. I think the only teams that you kind of have some questions about would be obviously like the bottom, like Paris. Which, I mean, no one has no idea what's going to happen to that team.
Yeah.
And then maybe you throw, like, Florida in there, too.
Yeah.
You know?
The teams that haven't been, like, announced. Well, yeah. The thing is, like, we don't know, though. Because we just don't know the roster. Because LAG's a bottom team. And then look who they signed.
Exactly.
So.
And same thing with London Royal. I mean, they've got a few AMs on there. And they've got Trey, Zero, and they've got, what's his name? Afro.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are nuts.
Yeah.
You know?
And, I mean, all the pros that have been, like, talking about all these roster changes, they're saying, like, every team's insanely good this year.
Yeah.
So.
No, if I had to predict, though, I think Gorillas will make a resurgence. I think they'll definitely boost up quite a bit. I think London will kind of be like a little bit better. I think they'll have more random moments where they do really well and have a bit more consistency.
Yeah,
because I think this past year Cold War was just so rocky for them.
It was hard for those guys.
They were up, they were down, they were throwing people in and out, and they just couldn't find their footing.
Yeah,
and it was a disaster for them.
They probably had the second most roster changes behind Thieves.
Yeah,
they literally changed every single major.
Yeah,
like it was a new team.
Yeah.
And
which is just that's not good.
Yeah,
you know, it's tough because that's that's a big reason why I think Thieves just couldn't succeed this year.
Yeah,
you know, and same thing with London. It's like if you keep throwing players in and out, you know that's a risk that you run is having time to work together and being able to understand their play styles and all that. But that's part of the trade off. It's like, what do you do?
Yeah, and like I mean the format might change too. On top of that, which could help some of these teams, and I mean, hopefully it helps some of these teams.
Yeah.
Because originally in Cold War, it was just you play for 4 weeks, then you got the major, and then you get a week break, and then 4 weeks again.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Yeah.
There have been rumors like all over Reddit that they're going back to like the Black Ops 4 style, like the CWL style, where they're just 2 pools.
Yeah.
And you're playing like all the teams in one pool. For 1 week, and then the second week you do like a crossover, and then you just repeat that for a certain number of weeks, and you have like your major.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because that way, like you get to face more teams instead of those small little pools. Because it was only it was like 4.
I think it was,
or something like that. I don't know. It was really small.
Yeah.
So
like in the Group A, Group B.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it. Well, I mean, it had to have been 6 and 6, right?
Well, yeah, but it was weird because they could play Team A and Team B.
Yeah.
Pool A and Pool B.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was weirdly structured. But hopefully the format changes a little bit, just so it's better for the players and then better for the viewers too. Because I mean that definitely, if you don't follow COD like religiously, like every single week, that gets confusing.
Yeah,
really confusing. Like you don't understand why these teams are playing this team.
Yeah,
and how come every single after one major, they're doing like a whole they're switching up the pools again.
Yeah,
like that shouldn't be happening. There should be like one side, Pool A, Pool B.
Yeah,
and then you play
East versus West or something like that. You know?
Exactly.
Just like the NFC and AFC.
Yeah,
just where it's like 2 sides and they stay that way. You know, because how many people actually tune in to watch, like, and same thing if you don't follow them on social media, to watch the coaches or GMs of these teams go and make these choices.
Exactly.
You know, because like that's what it is. It's a video that they put out, like 4 minutes or something. And then they're just like, yeah, we're gonna choose them, and it's all strategic. But you know, if you don't watch that, you would have no idea. You're like, wait, why are they in this group now? Like, why are these teams facing off?
Yeah, it should be more like locked in, because then you know, like, these are the teams on the East. You know, East versus West, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It would just be better for like the long term.
Yeah. I guess the only thing that they like, and now if you were doing something like that, right? Say they at the beginning of the season or before it even starts, they choose those sides. Throughout the season, do they get to play both sides? Like, you get to play a person on each team, like East gets to play somebody on West, or East versus East. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's what the Blackouts 4 like style was. You were in Pool A or Pool B, and for like a certain number of weeks you only play, like, they only stream like Pool A or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the following week they only stream Pool B. And then the third week they would do like a crossover.
Yeah.
And it would depend like how many points you had or whatever.
Because I guess their whole strategy behind it, and I understand it, is they just want to have every team play each other eventually, right? Because that was the whole problem with the first season, is certain teams wouldn't even be there for certain events.
They would only play like once the whole year.
Yeah, and you could argue that's a big reason why a lot of these teams ended up winning majors.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Like, I mean, you saw it this year, right? 3 teams won, right? FaZe, Ultra, and Rocker.
Yeah.
And then last year, you know, we're talking about like during the Modern Warfare season, CDL year 1.
I think it was like 8.
It was almost every team, I think. Yeah, Florida won 2, FaZe won, Chicago, New York, Toronto,
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas won.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot of people won. I don't think Paris and London ended up winning, but it was a lot of the teams. But a big reason why some of those teams won is I'm sure that certain teams were not there. You know? Like maybe Florida or FaZe or Chicago, whoever was absent. So then it makes things a lot easier for you.
Yeah. So hopefully going into this year, the format's like a little bit better.
Yeah.
Formats, it's just so hard to do, especially with only 12 teams.
Yeah.
Like, that's just such a small number of teams. And
it is.
Coming up with a format like that, it's so hard.
Yeah, it is. I think that's where people are pushing, obviously just for, you know, more competitiveness, but for 16 teams, you know, they need some sort of league expansion.
Yeah.
There's so many players too. It bothers me just seeing all these players sit on the sidelines knowing that they're not going to get a shot.
Yeah, they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
There's no place to go.
Yeah, you're just waiting there until someone gets dropped on one of these big teams, and that honestly could never happen. I know, like, this year we saw a lot of roster changes, but like, still that's only like one spot. Usually someone's like getting benched.
Yeah, and a lot of the thing too that's going on is it's shuffles. You know, it's like people just amongst the pros already are shuffling around.
Yeah,
it's not like say, I don't know, Slasher gets dropped from LAT and they bring in an AM AR.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're just trading him for another insane AR who's already in the league.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, like, you know, with all these contracts and stuff, they can't freely just move around anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if you're benching someone, like, they're still on your team.
Yeah.
Unless, like, the org just wants to drop them completely. But no one's going to do that because you already signed them for, like, the whole year.
Exactly.
But, no, it definitely gets hard. And it's going to be hard for, like, amateurs to, like, just jump straight into these teams. Like, if they even get the chance, that is.
Yeah.
So, because there's a lot of people that I have like a list of people that got dropped, and I would say the majority of them don't even have a home yet. Like, a lot of these guys are probably going to be in challengers.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, like Methods is there. Who else is there?
Methods.
The guy's
Vivid.
Name? Well, yeah, Viv. We don't know about him. Right, being a sub. Who's the guy I'm thinking of? Nado. Yeah. He's another one that's down there.
Well, Scraps.
Yeah, Scraps, Wuskin.
Shawnee, Mox. I mean, Mox said that he was just going to play challengers because he didn't want to sit around and wait.
Yeah.
To wait for someone to potentially sign him.
Right.
You know? And, like, it sucks. Yeah, like TJ, another guy, he was on LA Thieves.
Yeah.
And now he's released. We haven't heard anything from him.
Yeah.
Venom. So.
Yeah, there's so many of these people who just got released and they don't fit into the mold of some of these teams.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's just their personality or mainly their role too. You know, there's not enough spots.
Yeah. It's tough too because the CDL's only been around for 2 years. And I think a lot of, like, I don't want to speak for the players, but I think a lot of teams don't want to pick up someone that just did bad, like, for 1 year or 2 years. Like, Methods, like, he didn't play bad, like, at all both years. Like, he won a championship last year.
Yeah.
Played good this year, and he just got dropped. And now, like, he just can't find a team.
Yeah.
No one wants him. That sucks.
Yeah.
Mentally for him. Like, he's lucky he has fans and stuff. But, man, for other, you know, pro players that don't do content or don't have a following, like Zed, great example. Like, he had to retire.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you do?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, you got to start from ground zero. It's really hard. And especially, too, because Methods, he's an AR.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
He's a main AR. Like, what team is going to be able to pick him up? You know?
Right.
Like, it would have to be, like, Paris or this new, whatever that spot
New
is.
open spot, yeah.
That Chicago is going to have.
Yeah.
If that's a thing. You know? There's just not a lot of spots for him.
Yeah. And do we really think, like, Methods is going to sign with Paris?
Yeah.
Like, if Paris is going to do the same exact thing that they did last year, which was wait until the very end and just sign, like, a bunch of players, on, like, from what we've heard, the minimum.
Yeah.
Methods is not a minimum player. Like,
No.
you're not paying him a $50K.
No.
With the amount, like, he has a huge following, and on top of that, he's really good.
Yeah. It's crazy. You forget how big of a following he has, man. I think it was, I don't know if it was Insight or Kleenex on Twitter. Like, they have like 20,000.
Yeah.
He's got like 183,000 followers.
Yeah.
Like, his following is massive.
Yeah.
You know? And the other guys, too, it's good. I see them. They're trying, or at least Insight is. And I think Kleenex is a little bit starting to stream a little bit.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
man, you got to do that. People got to know who you are.
Yeah. Like, you know, just in case. Because there are very few people in the league right now that don't need a stream because they're just winning, a.k.a. like FaZe.
Yeah.
But, like, all those guys are making content.
Yeah, exactly.
So if those guys, they're winning everything and they're still making content, these other guys should try to make content.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. And that's only just because, like, if they get dropped, like, what are they going to do afterwards?
Yeah.
Because I do agree at one point, at the CDL, you know, 10 years down the line or whatever, it's going to get to the point where these pros don't have time for content.
Yeah.
Like, they can't do it on their own.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be like ESPN or something.
Right.
Like, interviewing them.
Right.
But,
No, it's going to be crazy.
yeah. So, again, just a lot of good players, like, on the bench that probably shouldn't be on the bench, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, like, they can't do anything about it. Like, because in Method's case, right, if you really think about it, there's only 12 AR spots in the whole league. If you're just following, like, 1 AR meta and 3 subs.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, like, 2 subs and a flex.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of room.
Yeah, and how many of those guys, too, are, like, untouchable players that are probably not going to be leaving anytime soon?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like, there's not many open spots for your potential outs that you can be like, all right, I'll take that spot. Like, that is a potential place I could go.
Yeah. Did you see the Shotzi, like, posted a video?
I did.
He was like, Methods is good.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he should be in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think a lot of pros, it's good that Shotzi says that. I'm sure a lot of people hold the same sentiments, too. You know, there's so many of these guys that they're like, man, they're insane, but they're just, you know, they don't have a shot.
Yeah.
They don't have any place to go.
Yeah. I wonder, like, it's weird with him. I wonder if it's, like, more amateurs just saying, like, he's not good, or if it's actual pros. Because from what, like, we hear, like, the majority of the pros, like, vouch for him. And he's really good. And if you watch him, he's really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's the problem with him, like, just not being signed.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I really think it just comes down to, like, he's kind of out of the pro loop in that aspect, like playing with AMs.
Yeah.
You know, right now that they just find other pros that are already in the league, you know?
Yeah, the other thing is, like, he's a main AR. It's just...
Yeah, I mean, they think about the 12 that are already in there.
Yeah.
You know, they don't think to go outside of it and grab them.
Like, who are main ARs? Crim, Clay,
Octane,
Slasher.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
look at the names that you're naming. You know, accuracy.
That's half of the spots right there.
Yeah,
like,
you know. So it's hard to compete against any of them. I think, I mean, I hope in the next couple of years he gets a spot. But if he's going to play for one of the lower teams like Paris, or I mean, not this year because Seattle's locked out, but plays for any of those teams, he's going to have to. He's going to have to play for more than the minimum. I don't think. I don't think it's worth his time.
No, it's definitely, because I bet you he probably makes more money like streaming.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, man, if he signed like a $50K contract, like he's just losing money.
Yeah,
because he's spending 10 plus hours a day probably streaming or not, practicing.
Yeah, like, and it's time away from his streaming. But that's up to him what he wants to do. If he wants to go put more of his time into content, or if he wants to go and get to compete at some level.
Yeah.
That's a tough decision you got to make.
Yeah, because at that point it's like, do I show everyone in the league that I'm still a really good player and I have the drive to keep playing, and sacrifice like my living, basically, like taking a huge risk.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he could have just spent the whole year, playing in challengers and making content, and definitely making more than what he's making on Paris. Yeah. So it's definitely tough, and that's a huge risk to take.
Yeah, it is.
It's a risk that he can probably take just because he has a following, but definitely not a risk a lot of these pros can take.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. He's in a rare spot that he can go and do something like that.
Yeah.
Has that bit of flexibility. Some players, like we think of Vivid.
Yeah. Great example.
Like, he's in such a tough spot as to what he's going to do. Because from the rumors of these teams that are going to be built, he's not in any of them.
Yeah. Which that sucks.
Yeah, it does, because he just played on Dallas and they got third a chance, was it? Yeah. They looked really, really well with him, and he's such a good sub. He was the best player on LAG and then looked amazing on Dallas. But it's just who's going to pick him up, And
that's the thing. I think Zuma said he was like Vivid, he's such a good player, but he just falls in that weird spectrum where he just doesn't fit into any team right now. Because for the most part, like, a lot of these teams are locked in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so hard to move someone for him.
Yeah,
because technically he's still under Dallas because he's a restricted free agent. And people are speculating like, oh, the Optic Dallas merger happened, and then he's on the bench for Optic Dallas, whatever the team name's gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad spot, like, honestly, but I'm sure he'd rather be a starter.
Yeah, because I think a lot of these guys who are on the bench, like someone like take like Jordan General, for example.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't compete in the MW season, and he didn't compete in this. Like, he's been out of the pro scene for a while. Yeah. He didn't just come off of playing champs and have a standout year. Yeah. So it's really hard to just kind of go from frying and deserving. Yeah. And especially too, teaming with the guys on Dallas and playing against the guys on Optic and beating them.
Yeah.
Out of champs, it's like...
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, General, he said that the only team that he would ever be a sub for was like Optic.
Yeah.
Because, the opportunity. That's what you got to decide. Like,
yeah.
Opportunity, like, he's been on content. Like, and people love him from Optic.
I think that would be a good move for him. If that does happen, stay on the bench there and build your brand as best as you can.
Yeah.
And start working on your social build, you know, like putting out content, being active on social media, and being under that brand, getting that juice, and,
make the fans love you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, fans are going to love you no matter what, honestly. Like, if you join Optic. Thing is, like, does he even want to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
If he doesn't want to do that, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for everybody. But, like, circling back, right, with LA Thieves, that's what's so good about Envoy, is that for the rest of his career, people will always like him.
Always follow him.
Yeah, just because he was on Optic. Yeah. Like, I don't think there wouldn't be anywhere near the love for him if he wasn't on that team.
Same with Octane.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He was on Optic for like half a season.
Yeah.
If that. In World War II. So, and like Methods, he was on that Optic team too for like that slight stint.
Yeah. I mean, it does wonders for you.
Yeah.
So it's up to you if you want to take advantage of that. I mean, Vivid he's young too, so he's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But he's looking really, really good right now. It would be such a letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, for him to be going from an amazing year to not playing at all.
Well, he's in like I think he's in the same situation as Draza because like they started the same year, in MW, and like he showed that he's worth it. Like he can play.
Yeah.
And then LAG, they dropped everyone besides him, kept him. They built around him. Then they dropped their best player. Like, well, that makes no sense.
Yeah. No, it doesn't make any sense.
So, I mean, it sounds like the same as like Draza, but Draza finally gets a shot.
Yeah.
Vivid just has to. He's just got to do it again.
Yeah.
On like some other team.
Yeah, right. And I don't know. That's the thing too, right? We have no idea what that team's going to be either. From the looks of it, it looks like he can really only be on like the bottom teams right now.
Yeah. Those are his only options right now.
Yeah, it's Paris or Chicago, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what's going to happen with that Chicago spot. I don't know. I wonder if it's going to be some team like some other prior COD franchise like Luminosity is going to come in and buy it.
Yeah.
Because I thought LG, don't they have something to do with Seattle Surge?
Yeah, they own Seattle Surge.
Yeah, so I don't know if they would do that spot there.
Yeah.
Because they already have that, technically speaking, I guess. Or it will be something under Energy. I mean, I don't think so, though.
Well, I've heard the Luminosity thing, which first, that literally doesn't make sense because they would own 2 spots of the league. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. But the Energy thing, it's either Energy's that's their spot, which technically they own right now, or they go and sell it off. Those are the only options that they have.
Yeah.
They can't really do anything. I've heard Cloud9. Yeah, I've heard Rise too.
Yeah.
They're just, it's a big buyout.
Yeah,
it's
a
big lot of money you got to put in.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people with some of those story names, that were in Call of Duty during the CWL, they would be starting off on the right foot just because of the brand that they have and the history they have with Call of Duty. So I think it wouldn't be too hard for them to find players. But yeah, again, it's just that commitment and that,
it's a lot.
Yeah, you got to go for it. So that's what's weird about Paris too, man. Is are they going to build a roster or are they trying to sell their spot?
Yeah, exactly.
We saw that whole thing where they their IP had been sold. So it's what's going on with them? Who really knows?
Yeah, we don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
it's weird, and obviously it's early in the league, but it's not good sign if 2 teams are already trying to opt out.
Yeah, it's not good.
And those are 2 big spots where big orgs have to come in.
Yeah,
with a lot of money, and I know Cloud9, they have a ton of money. I mean, they're global. It's got to be one of those global brands that come in.
Yeah,
because they just have the cash.
Yeah, exactly.
But I kind of want to see Immortals come in, the bad optic.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Not throwing shade, but if those guys came in,
that'd be insane. They have the cash.
Yeah, or who else? Cloud9, TSM, Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all global brands. So
yeah, and they're in other esports.
Yeah.
So it might be a move, but I don't know if we're gonna see it. We'll probably see that months from now, definitely. I think that's gonna probably be at the end of this year or perhaps even next year,
right before the season starts. We'll know everything.
Yeah.
But right now, that's what I'm most interested in. What's gonna happen to those spots?
Yeah, it is interesting. I don't know, and that's why it's good to see some of these teams. I mean, it sounds stupid, but to even just be staying in it because it is such an undertaking. Seeing LAT stay in it, seeing Rocker stay in it, all these guys, even Surge, I mean, they've had such a bad year. You would imagine they would want to get the hell out of there, but they're staying in it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if we're going to see some sort of support at the bottom, these teams are going to eventually start staying, or we're going to just see those teams constantly throughout the years. Those spots are going to be bought and sold.
Yeah. I hope not. One big name just has to come in. I don't even know who owns Paris, to be honest.
No, I have no idea either.
And again, I think you mentioned it in another podcast or maybe in a side conversation, how big of a fan base does Paris even have?
Yeah, exactly. That's always what I wonder. There's not really much going for them in that aspect. I can't imagine that they would be doing that well.
Yeah, because the EU scene for COD's big.
Yeah,
but I would imagine that they're all probably gonna root for the Ravens over the Legion.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure.
Or honestly, they're probably rooting for Toronto Ultra because they're all European players.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen with them? We'll just have to wait and see. Honestly, what the deal is. But I mean, the only thing that was good that's came out so far, I mean, is just some of these good rosters coming out. And like I said, LAT is exciting. I think they're gonna make big moves throughout the year. I think they'll be definitely in that top discussion, hopefully.
Yeah, I definitely think they will. Like, I'm really glad Octane's finally on a
decent team.
Yeah, a team that can help him. Not saying the Seattle teams just couldn't help him. It just seemed like he was so defeated over there.
Yeah, I mean,
like year to year, because like he said that he was trying to move after his first year, because he found out LAT was joining the league.
Yeah.
But, like, again, he was locked into his contract.
Yeah, he definitely was not happy there, and it definitely screwed with his gameplay.
And and it just sounds like management wasn't treating them very well. Because, I mean, dude, if you look at it, though, like, the rosters he had this year and last year, like, they're really good rosters.
Yeah.
Like, what if you took that roster and just put them under a different team?
Yeah.
Like, a management that supported them.
Yeah, that's the biggest question mark, right? Is I don't know... what's like I don't know what went wrong there.
Yeah.
You know,
like what happened with that camp. Octane and Slack, they're like, well, I didn't even get apparel. I'm like, you didn't get apparel from your own team?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even get to rep that? Like, what?
Yeah, I just don't understand how that team could be like it was. You know, they had such good players, and to think that they were bad, like they sucked.
Yeah.
You know, to think Octane, Gunless, Classic, and Pristini on that team.
Yeah, they had Slacked at one point too.
Yeah. Like, I just don't understand how that can be a bad... Well, yeah, was Slacked on Surge?
He was on there.
Or was he on...
He was on there last year.
Last year, yeah. Like, I don't understand how they could be a bad team with those players, you know?
Yeah, right?
And we thought, I remember going into this year, that they were going to, you know, have a lot of resurgence. They were going to look really good, and they didn't look any different. So,
yeah.
That's what I always wonder too. Like you can't ever take it out. Like with LA Thieves, like we're saying the same thing. They look so good on paper, but at the end of the day, like I have no idea.
Yeah,
you know they could be trash. You know what I mean? You just never know.
Yeah. Well, I think Octane he mentioned in one of the LAT videos that like he's ready to grind, and like that's what he misses.
Yeah,
and I'm sure, dude, being on Surge, playing with those like all those guys like will grind. But if you don't have management like supporting you and you're like, shit, man, like we're always online, like we're losing to these teams that we can beat.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat FaZe.
Yeah.
On LAN.
Yeah.
And like, you know, if you don't have management pushing you and supporting you, and you know, one player's like late to scrims.
Yeah.
Another player's like, man, fuck it, we're already in dead last. And, you know, it just snowballs to the end of the year. At the end of the year, you're like, screw it. Doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah. No, and then when that mentality happens, it's over.
Yeah. Because like we can't put all those other players are insane.
Yeah.
Like they're great players. Gunless, I mean he's on a crazy team now. LAG, that LA rival now.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
I mean Pristini, former world champ. Like we know what he can do.
Yeah, but and he's another guy too, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with him either. I think he's gonna be not in the CDL next year.
Yeah,
pretty sure he's not.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna retire or if he's just tired of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he went, like you said, from winning champs with his brother, and then RCD's right. His brother goes and wins another championship, and he's on the worst team.
Yeah,
and it's like
talk about a real decline.
Yeah, it's like does he really want to do it anymore?
Yeah, exactly. I mean that, yeah.
And he's gotten a ton of shade too, which is unfortunate. People just were roasting him all the time.
He's the worst brother.
Yeah,
like man. Like,
yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
It is. Those two guys, like Arceus and Pristini, you can't even compare them. Like they have two completely different roles.
Yeah, exactly.
Pristini's trying to do what Simp does.
Yeah.
No, what Abeezy does. Just run in.
Exactly.
And like Arceus is sitting back, like
man, off. Yeah, it's comparing apples to oranges. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited to see those guys grind. I don't think Octane has posted any videos of him playing Vanguard or anything like that.
Mm-mm. I don't think he got a beta code.
But that's crazy.
I think Envoy was only one out of these four that played it.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the Vanguard gameplay?
Yeah. I guess we can lead into that.
What'd you think about it?
I mean, from what everyone's saying and from what it looks like, it does look like a mix of World War II and MW, which, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of World War II. I didn't like it. That's my least favorite COD.
Yeah.
And MW, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but it does look more refined from last year.
Yeah.
Based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want to put too much on that, just because like you and I haven't actually played the game and like moved and stuff in it and like touched a controller.
No, we just played Champion Hill, which I don't really. That's not much of a representation of the game.
Yeah, like we need to jump into like TDM. And
Yeah, exactly.
Just literally just move around.
Yeah,
but I mean, overall, like I think it's definitely more refined.
Yeah. Now I think it looks. Pretty good. Again, I don't know that the engine. I just wasn't really good at it on MW. I definitely need to put more time into it because we ended up not playing it halfway through or so. We ended up just playing Black Ops 4. Mm-hmm. Plus, we were in school at the time, so it was kind of tough to get like a lot of time into it. Yeah. But yeah, the gameplay of it looks pretty good. The only thing that like with some of the maps, it seems like is they seem dark. It's like some of the maps that they've been playing are. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're so freaking dark. Mm-hmm. And some of the guns. Like there was a clip that was posted of it. It was the bar recoil. Did you see that?
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
What in the world was that? So the guy just didn't even pull down the stick at all. Just held the gun. Yeah. It really went from like aiming down straight, and then he was like shooting up at the moon.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable. And he didn't even empty his clip at the end. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. So I think obviously there's some things. Hopefully that they fix. The maps is the big deal with them, though.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I think they're launching with, 20 maps right at launch? That's
nuts.
First of all, that's a huge improvement. Especially this game was made during 2020, the COVID year.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're launching with 20 maps, like right out the gate, like that's crazy.
And they've already got some maps in there that are reskinned or reimagined maps from... I don't know the previous CODs, but at least a couple were from World at War.
Yeah.
They got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. And again, like we didn't play that much MW, but I think a big part of that honestly was just because we didn't like the maps. I feel like if you take that engine and put it on like maps that we like, we probably would have liked it more.
Yeah.
Because Cold War, like we weren't too hot at this game like we're in the beginning.
No.
At all. And like we weren't even the biggest fans of the maps. And then, like, we played more and more, and it finally grew on us.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, the maps on MW were just...
They're huge.
Yeah, and they sucked.
Yeah, they're huge.
Like, in my opinion.
There were, like, 2 maps that I liked in that.
Yeah, like Gunrunner, and, I mean, I can't even think. Like, Arklot Peak was a bad map.
I liked, Gunrunner, Azir Cave, Hackney Yard.
Yeah, for me, it's Gunrunner, Hackney Yard. That was it.
And that was really it.
Yeah. Azir Cave was like meh.
Yeah. I like this. Piccadilly I kind of liked later on because I finally figured out how to play that map.
Yeah.
But
so hard to see people.
Yeah. Again, that's 4 maps.
Yeah. And that's it's frustrating. Like that's what really makes a Call of Duty. We see it all the time on social media because that's really where we've been getting most of our information about this beta. Is like the maps is such a big thing. They've got like 20 maps. They've got some remasters on them. I think the beta only had 3 maps in them. We saw a couple people cooking them, which I mean, I don't really know. You can't really cook them. It's 3 maps.
Yeah, they're not going to give you all 16 maps in a beta.
Yeah,
people need to
or just saying those 3 maps suck. It's like
it's 3 out of 16.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I mean, I think that's what's going to be the make or break for me with this game. It's just going to be the maps.
Yeah.
And hopefully they have auto tax print or something like that to save my goddamn analog
Yeah,
stick.
they have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that bothers me. But
yeah. I mean, I don't know. This podcast's still going to keep going on. I mean, like, we're going to keep playing this game regardless.
Oh, no, for sure.
But the game itself, like, I don't know. I have higher hopes than MW because MW, like, as long as the maps are good, I think this game it'll be good.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, we've said it before, right? Maps are everything to a Call of Duty.
Yeah.
If you have bad maps, the game's a joke. I think that's why this year was so good for competitive because they just ended up realizing that a lot of the old maps are what people want.
Yeah.
And they're the best maps. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? Just throw in those maps and you'll be good to go.
Yeah. And I mean, they had a handful of maps like in Cold War that like I liked.
Yeah, like Moscow I like.
Moscow, Garrison, Cross Strike. What else?
There's some maps like they did in the DLC. Like Diesel I ended up liking.
Yeah, Diesel.
Yeah,
I like Echelon.
Yeah, Echelon's not too bad.
What else? Like
Yamantau was not bad. they're all like very like average maps. You know, like they're not bad maps, but they're not great maps. You know.
Yeah, for like pubs, they're definitely decent maps.
Yeah. Well, the thing too, right, is the pub experience compared to the competitive or like league play experiences are going to be way different. Yeah. And I don't know what's going to happen with this game with league play. Because this year for pubs, that's all you could really play for the longest time. I think it was more than halfway through this game's life cycle that league play came out.
Yeah, it was definitely way more.
Which is a joke.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think this game is going to launch with league play either.
Yeah.
Like, I would be mind blown if it did.
That would be nice if it launched with league play right away. Because it makes you work for something. But if it's launched too late, like, there's honestly no point in playing it.
Yeah.
Because then you got to start over.
Yeah, well, that's what's so frustrating about this year and why it's like, to us, it's not really worth it, you know, is because when you play league play, you don't get anything from it.
Yeah,
you know,
literally nothing. You're not rewarded by any, at least in pubs, like, we get, like, calling cards or something.
Yeah, like, I can go and play for challenges and do stuff like that, you know, and I guess in competitive I can, but it's way hard. Actually, well, no, some of them you can't.
Yeah,
I was going to say you can't because a lot of the stuff's banned. You know, that you would want to go use if you need to use like throwing or use a tomahawks for kills or, you know, like anything like that, like LMGs.
Yeah.
You can't do any of that stuff.
Even like the emblem that you get, like the rank that you put in, like you play a couple of games and that's it.
Yeah.
Like I would much rather go and grind a whole prestige all day and then get that next prestige than just go play a couple games and I'm placing that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Exactly.
Like, there's no thrill in that, and there's no reason to grind.
No, there isn't, and that was a big problem with this year's league play system. So, I think what they were saying is, I didn't play it back then. I can't remember if it was World War II. It had a really good rank play system. I didn't play it.
I didn't play it either. I didn't play that game, period.
Yeah.
I played a little bit, then stopped playing.
Yeah. But I just don't know why every year they can't start the game with a league play system when that's what every COD ends up trying to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they want to go put one out and then they end up putting it out way too late in the game and all the player base is gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you put a league play system super late in the game, like you basically have to start over again.
Yeah, you do.
And like I don't want to do that.
No.
Like, no one does. And, again, we're called the COD Casuals. That's why, like, we love pubs. Pubs, like, that's our thing, you know?
And that's where the majority of the player base is.
Yeah. And pubs, at first, we didn't like Cold War pubs because it was crazy. We weren't good at all. But, you know, it grew on us a lot. Like, once we finally figured it out. But, like, pubs is fun in Cold War. Like, I haven't had this much fun in COD since Black Ops 4.
Yeah. No, it's definitely been a while.
And it's always Treyarch that's, like, saving it.
Yeah.
Because it was MW2. I started on MW2. Fun game. MW3 was fun. And then, honestly, like, I played MW3 through, like, all the other CODs after that until Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
And then we grinded that, skipped the next year.
Yeah.
And then Black Ops 4. And then this game.
Hustle.
Yeah, it's just Treyarch.
Yeah. They make the best stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their games are so good. You know, at least from the pub side, I've always been happy with their games.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just because they realize that's where a lot of the fan base is, or if it's in tandem with they make those good games in general. Because a lot of the players who are, you know, the pro players, they end up liking the games. You know, they end up liking Scump really liked this game. I think a lot of people liked the Cold War.
Yeah.
Competitive. And same thing with Black Ops 4. A lot of people did too.
Yeah. And like if I played a lot of Black Ops 4 like competitive in their league play, which they launched that like later on.
Yeah.
It wasn't this late. Like this was literally this was really late.
Yeah.
But like you would have had fun in that.
Yeah.
Like it was really fun.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. Treyarch just they know what to give the fans.
Lord Vandahar, David Vandahar, he knows what to do.
Giving us what we want.
Yeah.
So
I have high hopes for this game too. Like, you know, I really hope. You know me, I'm a big World at War guy. I love those games.
Yeah.
I liked World War II. You know, I liked it a little. It wasn't like my favorite COD, but I really liked the setting. The game was pretty nice. It had some wonky things in it. But like World at War is one of my favorite games. And then like the old PS2 CODs, I love those. Yeah. So it's definitely got a soft spot for nostalgia on my end, but it looks good.
I got like I don't want to say high hopes for it. Like, I want it to be really good, but like it's definitely a game I'm gonna be playing because, I mean, the recoil that you're talking about, I think that was crazy recoil, but they do need to add recoil because at least I know you and we can manage that. It's bad, but like we could do it, you know.
Yeah, and with attachments too, you got to think like I don't know if that gun had anything on it.
Yeah, but you know, lately there's been a lot of guns with no recoil.
Yeah,
literally nothing.
Yeah.
So,
and when guns don't have a lot of recoil too, that just encourages players like you can sit back with a sub or an AR and you don't get as much like in your face gameplay, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because we played the other, like we're old heads now, like the other games, but you knew the good players and the bad players because they'd be using like specific guns. Yeah. Now there's no gap.
Yeah.
Like some level 5 person could be running in and be a god just because a gun shoots super straight.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, it is good that they have some recoil in the guns, and we've seen a little bit of that. Then they have some things, too, like the exploding walls and stuff like breakable surroundings. Yeah. I'm kind of hot or cold on that. It looks cool.
Yeah.
But in the casual aspect, I don't know. I don't think it'll be, like, too game-breaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm... As long as it's just like a couple things here and there, you know? Because like, don't turn this into Rainbow Six Siege where all the walls can break. Like, I don't want that.
No, I don't want that either. I think that'd be a real problem.
Because man, I already know someone's gonna carve out a little hole and they just sit in with an LMG and have like a shield in front of them. And they're just gonna shoot through.
That's the thing. I think it's like it doesn't break. Like one thing at a time, you know, it's either like it's full health or it's completely busted down.
Everything,
you know
right?
what I mean?
Yeah.
I would imagine that's what it is. Because if you could go and like break it specifically so a couple planks are gone and they can't see you, but you can see them, that'd be absurd.
Yeah,
I don't think you'll be able to do that though.
Yeah, I hope not.
But we'll have to go play it this weekend to confirm to see if you can do that. Because right now I don't know.
And I'm sure it varies from map to map too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, this would be kind of cool to see pros do it, just because, man, I think that would really show like the skill gap between like us, and then the pros.
Yeah,
if they see like, wait, there's a hole there, and they see a little glint.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Someone's there.
That'd be sick. But it seems too like the big thing is going to be just jumping, like a lot of jumping around corners now.
Yeah, the slide is. I mean, we played the
alpha,
a little bit. Yeah, the slide's slow.
Yeah,
it's really slow.
Yeah, so you can't like beat people via slides. At least right now, it doesn't seem like you can. Maybe someone will expose it, but it seems like jumping is going to be the big thing, like to win gunfights and stuff.
Yeah,
which I'm down for.
Yeah, I mean, I like jumping more than sliding.
Yeah, no, I do too.
And. What else? Tax sprint back, obviously. Again, you and I aren't the biggest fan of that, just because
break my fucking sticks.
Yeah, it does break your sticks.
Dude, legit.
Yeah, like,
I think my stick is screwed up probably because I played that alpha, like guaranteed. You press it twice as much.
Yeah, you're just double pressing over and over again. Like, you're just wearing your sticks down. One big thing I want to point out that I'm really not a fan of is there's no dead silence perk.
Oh yeah,
I hate that, and I would say the whole community hates that. Because, I mean, back in MW, like we complained about this.
Yeah,
and the community complained about it, and it's still not a perk.
Yeah. Now, along with that too, bro, I think a big thing that drives me nuts, and we'll wrap it up on this because it's like, oh man, I could go off about it. Is mini map. You hear what they're doing with the mini-map?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they're getting rid of any red dots coming up on the mini-map.
Yeah.
Bro, what is that nonsense?
They said this in MW, you remember?
Yes.
They said there's no mini-map.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean there's no mini-map?
Yeah.
That's COD.
Yeah.
You need that in COD.
Yeah.
So, that better not happen at launch.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't either. That makes no sense. I'm like, how are you supposed to get any knowledge?
Yeah, and we've talked about it, right, in tons of our previous episodes. You need to look at the mini-map.
Yeah, you have
to. But
now...
I mean, how can you play the game? You know? Like I remember we would play at the beginning of MW before they fixed it.
Yeah.
Right? We were walking around like headless chickens. You have no idea where to go.
Yeah, it's like Siege.
Yeah.
It literally is like Siege. Like this COD isn't Siege. we're supposed to be running around fast.
Yeah, you have no idea what's happening. You're not aware of anything.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have a headset, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You have to... And even still, trying to listen for people. Footsteps are not loud in this game.
Yeah. And it benefits players that just sit in the corner.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, you and I were saying, like, we get punished for our play style in MW because we like to play fast.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Because we want to run in and like get the kill. Like, we get punished really, really bad.
Yeah.
And the players that just get to sit and hold an angle the whole time, like, they always win.
Yeah. And dead silence too, like, it should just be a perk.
Yeah.
I think they don't do it because of Warzone, because in Warzone it's not a perk.
Yeah.
You have to earn dead silence, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just trying to keep the consistency between both games there.
Yeah.
Which I get,
yeah,
but it's stupid because in Warzone and playing multiplayer or competitive COD are two completely different things, and dead silence needs to be a perk.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
have the freaking minimap on, for Christ's sake.
I don't know if they're ever going to change that, just because, like...
Yeah, I don't think
they would have to change it in Warzone, and they would have to change it in multiplayer.
Yeah, I think dead silence is going to stay the way it is. I think what they'll do, they'll fix the minimap, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's an easy fix. Mm-hmm. I think before, the minimap wasn't even on there.
Yeah, I don't even think,
yeah,
it wasn't
there wasn't even a mini map.
Yeah.
This has a mini map, I think, but there's just no red dots coming up.
Yeah,
like when you shoot your gun, suppressed or unsuppressed. Usually, it was always unsuppressed. You would come up.
Which you think about, like, what is the point of the map at that point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can sort of see where your teammates are.
Yeah,
but like, you're just running around headless. Like,
yeah,
we're probably gonna be crouching everywhere.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, I guess a good thing is that with this engine, the MW engine, like, you and I can jump to Warzone and it's gonna feel natural again.
Yeah.
So that'll give us more opportunity to talk about Warzone.
Yeah, exactly.
Be in the loop about more stuff, more content.
And that's what's good too for a lot of people who play Warzone who don't play multiplayer, or vice versa. Is you guys, we can all switch between them, which I totally get, and it's what they should do. Mm-hmm. But it's just unfortunate that there's some things that work in Warzone that don't work in
multiplayer.
Yeah, like the dead silence perk just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I mean, back in college when MW dropped, like, I remember like playing with like a couple of my roommates and stuff, and then Cold War dropped, and you and I played a lot of that. Then I went back and played with them. They're like, "Dude, you suck." Yeah, I'm like, "No, this game feels so different."
Yeah, you're literally playing a different game.
Yeah, they're like, "Nah, like, dude, you just lost." I'm like, "Chill."
Yeah, exactly.
I did not, trust me. But I mean, overall, like, I hope this game is like pretty good. I'm gonna play it again. I pre-ordered it already. Like, I'm gonna be playing this game.
Yeah. Oh no, I will too. We're gonna be grinding it for sure.
Yeah. One other note that I actually had on here was I heard squad spawns are back.
Oh yeah.
We can get super complicated with this, but not gonna complicate it for everyone here. But that's not good for multiplayer or competitive.
Sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks. It's basically like, if you and your team die, you're just going to keep spawning in the same area over and over again until like 5 or 6 people are on that side. Yeah. It is very hard to force spawns. Dude, I remember in Hackney, like, you'd be running over and like you'd kill like 3 or 4 people and spawn, and they're still on top of you. Yeah. And you're just one person.
Yeah. It's bad. Like, you can just get spawn trapped and you'll never get out of that spawn trap. The game will just keep spawning you over and over again. Yeah. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that too, vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not like the best player and someone's just in your spawn, you're just dying constantly.
Yeah, constantly. It's not fun.
And then in competitive, like, you're trying to flip.
Yeah.
It's not flipping.
Yeah, exactly. It's not flipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it causes problems on so many sides. Again, if you're casual, like you said, you're getting punished if you're on that end of it.
Yeah.
And then when you really need to flip, like in competitive, you just can't because the game's not allowing it because of the squad spawns.
Or if you're in pubs, you're on a streak, you're about to drop a nuke.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, I got 4, I got 5. They're still spawning here.
Yeah, and you didn't get any break.
Yeah, it literally makes no sense.
Yeah, I think they'll fix that too, hopefully.
I hope so.
I think they can fix that. The dead silence thing, I don't think they're going to fix.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, just keep the spawns like Cold War, like spawns, so you can predict them.
Yeah, right.
I don't want
use a little bit of brain power.
Yeah. I guess we can wrap it up there for the beta. And last thing, we'll mention this really quick just because it's Cold War related. They dropped a new map, Zoo.
Oh, yeah.
I like that map.
I'm okay with it.
Like, I mean, we only played Demolition on it. I liked how it was playing for Demolition.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I think we were like that was the first time I think we'd played it.
Yeah.
And I think I got smoked, so that's why I said I don't like it. Surprisingly. But no, it's not a bad map. Like I do like it. I would need to play it more for sure.
Yeah.
To get more used to it, because there were some lanes I just was like totally lost.
Yeah.
You know, and especially I remember we were playing like good people. We lost that game. I remember.
Yeah.
We were playing decent people who had definitely who were playing it before. So it was hard.
Yeah. And they added Demolition obviously into the second half of the update.
Demolition is dope.
Yeah, Demolition's fun.
Yeah.
So
I fucking love Demolition, bro. Threw us back to the MW3 days.
Yeah.
Beast mode.
And then I will say EM2 and Tech 9 are still overpowered. Those guns are garbage. Like you
just gotta throw it in there.
Yeah, those guns. Every single lobby you join in, and I know people are like, "Oh, Cold War's over. It doesn't matter." I'm like, "No, it matters."
Yeah, we're still playing.
We got one more season.
Yeah, bro.
To hit Master.
Season 6. Yeah.
So I don't.
Screw those guns.
I
hate
those guns.
No, I hate them too.
Like,
nightmares.
I'm at the point in pubs where like, all right, I got killed once by it. Tech 9's coming up.
Yeah.
And then those guys will get smoked, and they're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, that gun. Yeah, with the automatic attachment on it, it's a freaking joke.
Yeah,
I can't stand that thing.
There's no recoil.
No.
And like I tried to use the 74U, and then as soon as I die right away from that, I'm like, no.
The EM2 that thing is absurd.
Yeah.
I hate that gun.
Yeah. Oh, and we got to give a shout out to the Marshals. The Kimbo Rangers,
bro. Those things literally they gave me nightmares.
They're garbage.
They're a joke. They're a literal joke. Yeah.
But I swear to God, every time I pick them up, I get hit markers.
Yeah, same here.
I've never gotten a kill with it.
Yeah. I think I've maybe gotten like 1 or 2 kills with it. No. But when people hold that thing, bro, they get that Modern Warfare 2 like Model 1887 range out of them.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. They're akimboed. Oh my God.
The amount of 1v1s that you and I have lost already just because like someone's just tucked away in a corner. Yeah. We'll run by, dead.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, or you get first shot on them.
Dead.
And then, yeah, they're like half health or like one shot, and then they smoke you. They just look over like, huh? Boom.
Yeah. Dead.
And we're over here like jaws on the floor. What?
Yeah. Man. EM2, Tech 9, and Marshals, like those things suck. Yeah. Those guns are ass. And I mean, when I unlock the Marshals, it's going on my Tech 9 class.
Yeah, right.
Because once I die from those,
OP, just sweat class.
Yeah. Because once I die from those, I'm taking them out.
you're not screwing around anymore. The Diamante doesn't do it. You need those things.
Yeah. And man, those things like drive me up a wall.
Oh man,
every single time I play against them.
I can't stand it.
And the guys that do it too, they're like shooting our bodies and teabagging us.
I don't even want
they're talking shit.
I don't even want to think about those guys. We're gonna come across them tonight when we're filming this. It's gonna piss me off so much.
Well,
on that
note,
sweet note.
Then we covered everything we want to talk about. But yeah, remember to follow us on like socials, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, all that jazz.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anchor FM / the COD Casuals. Actually, right before we end it, the last episode we got like 59 views or 60
which
views.
is insane. So
yeah, so thank you to
every single one of you who listened to that. Yeah. That's amazing.
That was crazy.
Yeah, we were mind blown.
I was like, whoa.
I couldn't believe it.
So
in the big league. So we appreciate you guys for listening to it. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. So next episode 32, we'll continue on with rostermania and any other topics that pop up.
And we'll talk about our Vanguard experience because we'll have
we'll have it by then.
Yeah, so we'll give you our expert opinion on the game, right?
Whatever our opinion's worth to them.
Yeah, exactly, right? The casual experience from it.
But yeah, guys, this has been episode 31. I'm your host, Justin.
And I'm Mike.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Take it easy.
See ya.